Alright, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of great men that surely do well. Peace and blessings goes out to the Akim through the four corners of this world that continue to push this gospel in all sincerity and with all diligence. Zimarab Matana here once again, coming to the spirit of the power of the Lord, to do a quick lesson to edify Lord's flock. And this lesson gonna be about Isaiah 4:1, where I have a bit of confusion surrounding this this scripture here, this precept, because people try to twist it and give it their own take to suit their doctrine. For example, IUI is saying that this here is talking about in the kingdom because of what verse 2 says, which it's 7 woman, which is 7 woman is not literally 7 woman. 7 woman just represents any amount of women. It just but the significance of the 7 is to show that multiple women gonna grab hold of one man. You know what? Let me read it first. It says, "And in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach." So some says that this is gonna be in the kingdom, which yes, it will be in the kingdom, but before reaching the kingdom, it's gonna be here on earth as well. They're gonna start from in this world on this side. When I said this side, I mean before Esau gets destroyed, before Esau's kingdom fall. And what shows that is only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach, because in the kingdom the Israelite women are gonna have Israelite women are gonna have any reproach. You see, the heathen might have the other nations may have reproach, but the Israelite women are gonna have any reproach. It says in the NLT, it says, "In that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man." So if you understand it clearly in KJV, the NLT, it says, "So few men will be left." So that is why it says, "Shall take 7 women, shall take hold of one man," because there are gonna be so few men left. And that is why in chapter 13, verse 12, the script, it says that a man gonna be more precious Isaiah 13:12. It says, "I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir." I will make people scarcer than gold. Just speaking about the man, more rare than the fine gold of Ophir. So if men scarce and a man of the Lord even scarcer, then the Lord's elect could be scarcer than gold. And that is due to the destruction that's gonna take place. That is due to the times that the men that gonna come. The time of destruction is scripture says they are darkness, gloominess. That they are peril, that they are terror. And all the days leading up to that great day gonna be famines and race wars, civil unrest, lootings, martial law. So men gonna be killing each other. And men gonna be killing each other for that very same reason. Because of civil unrest, because there's no food to eat. You understand? Because there's no work. You're gonna be a survival of the fittest, a dog eat dog world. No, you gotta slaughter in order to survive. So the men that remain, these women will want to cleave unto them, because they will say these men, either these men are powerful in some way. In order to survive the things that happen, and these men are powerful, so these women will want to cleave. You think right now in Ukraine, or any of these war-torn countries, Ukraine, most recent example, or in Palestine, these women really give a fuck if the man that they're moving with have 10 or 20 or 30 women. They don't give a damn. As long as they secured, as long as they are safe, as long as they have shelter, as long as they have clothes on their back, as long as they have food to eat, they don't give a damn if that man had 20 or 30 or 100 women. You see, convenience, comfort, and the illusion of choice is what have these women thinking this way. Feminism, women's liberation. You could do what you want, you could say what you want, you have no repercussions for your course of actions. You have no one to tell you on shit. The man do bad, you complain, or what you perceive to be bad, you complain. You do bad, you complain that it's a man's fault, he make you do that. So they have no accountability. But when these things start to happen, and it already began, but on a minor scale, it already began on a minor scale. When I say it already began, the thing, and I'm talking about the violent part, talking about the hardship. Because you're going on TikTok and on Instagram, and you see these videos with these women complaining how life is hard. How they're stretching the pennies from 1 week to the next. How they think that, they should have never buy into that philosophy that they don't need a man, that they're independent. So it already began. The pressure just had to build more in order for them to burst, for that bubble to burst. And all of them will be crying that same song. But Isaiah 4, it says, in that day so few men will be left from what the peril that's going to take place, that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your name, so we won't be mocked as old maids. And you see, hey, you see when they put spiritual power into play, when they recognize that the men of the Lord have spiritual power, now they're going to cleave unto that man. As I said, comfort, the illusion of choice. You have no penalty for adultery. You could bounce from one man, you could get done with one man today, and have a next man by yesterday or last week. So they don't give a fuck. Man is in abundance for them, because adultery is a norm. So it's like, I don't need you. But when it have few men left, that song gonna change. It says, Isaiah 24 and verse 20, and verse 6, it says, therefore had the curse before the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. So when all these plagues start to come, when all these plagues begin, famine, the race wars, looting, these women and them gonna be raped, they're gonna be ravished in the streets, as according to 2nd Ezra and Zechariah. They're going to be ravished. They're going to want to have that man to protect them. Because if they didn't have that man to protect them, 10, 20, 30 men going to ravish them. They don't want that. See? They don't want to experience that. In 2 Ezra 16 and verse 31, it says, even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword, and the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel there through. Scripture, and it says, this same chapter, that one man shall be desired to see our next. That's how few men gonna be left. When you look at Ukraine and you look at all the cities with these with just rubble and debris. People, you think people inhabiting there? People inhabiting there is gonna be few. The ones that remain. In Palestine right now, you think people, yes, because they're not really targeting people per se. Well, that is what they're doing, but they will try to cover it up. But if they were targeting civilians, if it were an all-out one and everybody dies, it would have had few men left. The ones that remain, the women would have wanted to cleave onto them because they want that protector. Even now, women has always looked for that provider and protector, but the stubbornness and that is what they naturally crave. But because Esau sell them this philosophy, they just fight that natural, so that natural feeling. So that is why they would tell you, they don't need you. Because you could go and the next man could come. But in that time, when they don't have much men, they want to hold on to you. It says, verse 33, it says, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The bridegrooms, the men. The men are the bridegrooms. And why they shall have no bridegrooms? Because they're going to die. It says, the women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hear ye now these things, and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. So women without men, without husbands, women with husbands, they were gonna mourn, because they're gonna perish. If you're not serving Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, be how good, you could have how much money, you're gonna perish in that fucking day. That is why we say, even though the scripture says, shall make a man more precious than fine gold, we know it's speaking about the elect man. Because the elect man gonna be the ultimate currency in that day. Scripture says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Who have the wisdom and the knowledge? The elect. So they wouldn't want no regular Joe. Cause cash in doing that shit in daddy. We're gonna have all the play? Power. That is when they're gonna cleave on to power. Because women cleave on to power. But now, money is what gives you power now. In that day, as the scripture Isaiah 13 says, neither their silver nor gold shall be able to save them in the day of destruction. You're not going to be able to buy any salvation. So they shall cast their silver and their gold into the streets. But Psalm, I'm going to close off with this. Psalm 110, it says, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. In the beauties of holiness, from the womb of the morning thou hast the dew of thy youth. So these women are gonna see that power, and they're gonna willingly serve us. Hey, look at NLT. It says when you go to war, which that time gonna be a time of war. See, it says your people will serve you willingly. Men gonna come to us for help, and women, but women gonna cleave unto us. How the scriptures say, someone shall take hold of one man. You are arrayed in holy garments, and your strength will be renewed each day like the morning dew. And then Lamentation, it says, 10 women shall break thy bread in one oven. Thy bread, your bread. So, even though we're going to have that in the kingdom, we're going to start on this side. We're going to start on this side because of the hardship, because of the peril, because of the danger. But then too, you all don't believe in Jacob's trouble. You all believe that we're going to get delivered without having to go through Jacob's trouble. So then I could understand why you all believe that that wouldn't be on this side. Because this is going to happen in Jacob's trouble. 7 women taking hold of one man. It's going to start with Jacob's trouble. So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Yahushai, double unto the apostles and the elders of great millstone that surely rule well. Peace and blessings unto the Akim, the four corners of the soul. Pray this lesson will edify. Until next time, I say shalom.